Hey guys, Paul from Net Audio here, and today we got one of our installations that we wanted to show off. You know us, we do a bunch of RAMs, so today we got a TRX. We are working on a 2024 TRX. This thing is pretty much new. I say new. He's got like 4,500 miles on it, but this is heavily not a factory TRX. He owns a performance shop and it is heavily modded and running around 900 horse on the dyno, so he can talk to y'all about that. That's not my department. I know it sounds very mean. He wanted an equally mean and cool looking sound system to go with it. He found us because of our stage 4 enclosures that we've been showing off. What we did today is kind of our tried and true package that we've done, where we're doing the stage 3 downfire enclosure with 3 of the Hertz Melee Pro shallow 10s. We love those subs. If you ever talk to us and you're like, what's your favorite subwoofer? We use them all the time, even if we don't need them for a small space. So it's a shallow woofer that just does not call for a whole lot of airspace, but man, they play deep, they're aggressive, they're a fun and dynamic subwoofer, which is typical Hertz. Super good sounding. I wouldn't say it's an audiophile grade woofer, but it's a very, very good sounding woofer that you can get very aggressive with, which we like. It's a very fun subwoofer. We got a trio of those. The enclosure, it's our typical stage 4, so it's 2.65 cubic foot downfire box. We have access to the cargo bins, all that same stuff. We've talked about those enclosures. If you want to check them out, you know, check out our page. You know, like us, follow us, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I said it early. So to run the subs, until Hertz comes out with a big beastly amplifier for us to run on those, we're using a Alpine, their R2 1500 amplifier, 1500 watts. The burst sheet on this amp was dang shy of 1900, so it was like 1880, I think, which is good. My only complaint about the shallow MPS subs, they're only single 2 ohm or single 4 ohm, so it does limit us a little bit. When you're running 3 subs, you always get some weird ohm load because you run into thirds. It doesn't divide evenly when you run stuff in parallel. 3 4 ohm subs gives us 1.33 final impedance at the amplifier. A lot of sub amps are either 2 ohm or 1 ohm. So this Alpine Type R amp is a 1 ohm amplifier. At 1.33, we're a little shy of the 1500, but it's rated 1800, so we got a lot of power on 310s, and that's all we really care about. It works very, very well. We use the Amp Pro for the audio signal, so that got us hooked up behind the radio. That we've got videos talking about that stuff. Main reason we did that, he listens to a bunch of electronica music, but he preferred a sealed enclosure. So we did the 310s, but because of the deep bass that the EDM type of music typically has, I wanted to make sure that we were getting all the way down. If we tap in on with our harnesses that goes behind the seat, the factory subwoofer signal kind of rolls off a little bit on the deep stuff, which for most applications it's perfectly fine. But in his case, I really wanted to make sure we were getting it to go all the way down. I mean, we're not running inexpensive equipment here. I didn't want the signal to be the weak side of this. And then we did our typical bolt-in amp rack, replaced the factory subwoofer, and we wired that up with the amp rack and with our lighting controller and everything, so it's all tight and compact. We also used a combination fuse block and ground block. We're expecting him to be coming back and upgrading the doors, so that's going to be kind of round 2 hopefully here pretty soon. So we went ahead and ran the combo block on it, just so in the future we've got room where we can add a second amplifier, and we already have our power and ground situation handled, so it won't be that big of a deal to undo. So on the enclosure, since it's a TRX, we went ahead and dressed it up a little bit. In this case, this was a custom one. He wanted it to match this burnt orange Harvest Sunrise Metallic. You know, they always have to have a fancy name. It's burnt orange. We sourced that paint and we matched it on the trim of the enclosure, but also his performance shop, we took his logo and made a custom acrylic badge for that for the middle of the enclosure, and we brought in the color scheme to go with that. Since it is a TRX, it does have some carbon fiber on it. This is that trim package. We use some carbon accents that we've used on a previous TRX enclosure, so we still have carbon fiber on hand, and we made those pieces and got them to dress it up a little bit. So we're pulling in a bunch of different materials from throughout the vehicle. You know, the black vinyl to match, we have the black carpet to match, we have the burnt orange to match the outside, and then the carbon fiber. It's all just one pretty little package to match up on the enclosure. Hopefully that answers some questions, guys. If you need anything else, you can always hit us in the comments. Be sure to shoot us an email, paul@nedaudio.com. Call the shop, 940-767-1800. Facebook, Instagram, we're always there. If you have questions or anything, give us a shout. Thanks, guys.